Hello from the Bureau of Meteorology. It is Saturday the 15th of February, 8 a.m. Western Time, and here's an update on what is now known as ex-tropical cyclone Azelia. That's right, it is no longer a tropical cyclone because overnight last night and through the early hours this morning, it did slowly weaken and lose its tropical cyclone status. It is now a tropical low, shown by this L on the map over inland parts of the Pilbara. But even as a tropical low, through the rest of the day today, it will continue to bring heavy rain and flooding to parts of northern and northwestern Western Australia, and that's what we're really here to focus on. I do just want to show the radar loop of the crossing from yesterday afternoon, and then we continued to track this tropical cyclone inland towards Marble Bar, but as we got to late on Friday night, we really lost all signs of the wet weather on our radar here, and there were a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, the rain was weakening at that stage, starting to break apart and get a little patchier, but also as the remnants of the system moved inland, it was getting further and further away from our radar coverage, which is a little closer to the coast. So if we switch off what we can see on the radar and switch on what we forecast to see with our computer information, you can actually see there's still a lot of rain expected across inland parts of northern WA through the course of the day on Saturday. Now, before we get too far into the forecast for the rest of the day, I also want to talk about the flooding which is ongoing across the Pilbara from yesterday's very heavy rainfall. Now, I'll excuse the change in colour here, but I really wanted to highlight this red region here. That is a major flood warning in place for the De Grey River east of Port Hedland, which is experiencing major flooding at the moment. There is also flooding occurring along other Pilbara coastal rivers, the feeder rivers to the De Grey, and some rivers in the Great Sandy Desert are seeing flooding currently. There is also a flood watch in place covering most of northern WA, as we could see new rivers experiencing flooding conditions over the next day or two given the upcoming rainfall, and that takes us nicely to the forecast for the rest of the day today. We will continue to see the remnants of Tropical Cyclone Zelia, or what we're now calling ex-Tropical Cyclone Zelia, move southwards. Later on Saturday, it will leave the Pilbara and move into the far northeastern Gascoyne. Still heavy rain anticipated as it is moving southwards. The rain and the system itself will continue to move southwards and inland on Sunday, but during Sunday the wet weather will get a lot patchier. We'll start to see some gaps and some holes in the rainfall. It will thin out and the rainfall totals will get lighter on Sunday as all of that moisture moves southwards. So the real key time is Saturday when the heavy rain is expected, and it's really through this area here, inland and southern Pilbara, northeastern parts of the Gascoyne as well. That is where we have focused our severe weather warning for heavy rainfall through Saturday. We'll zoom in a little bit. It's really targeted on Newman in the southern Pilbara, out towards Tom Price, down into Three Rivers as well. In this area we could see another 100 millimetres of rain over a 24-hour period through until around about midnight, perhaps early on Sunday morning, before the heaviest of the rain will have finished. So between now and then, riverine flooding remains possible. We've seen that broad flood watch that covers most of the northeast. Flash flooding could occur where the heaviest falls do occur, particularly near the centre of that moving system, and it could put stress on the water network and other infrastructure. So today is a very important day in that part of the country to stay up to date with the latest forecasts and warnings, which you can do so on the Bureau's website and app. Thanks very much for watching and stay safe.